Every country has its own business environment, just as every organization has its own culture and business surroundings. While undertaking a business locally or abroad, the managers or CEOs of the organization have to account for and consider all the external and internal as well as macro and microeconomic factors which are likely to contribute to the success of business or the failure. Welcome to another educative episode of Buzz 101. Business Success and Strategy Show, the show that gives you the opportunity to learn the tips and secrets of business success. My name is Glory and I am your anchor. Today, we'll be looking at investment SWOT analysis. This is a topic that cuts across all areas of businesses. We will go on a short break. When we come back, I'll introduce our guests on the show. But while we're on this break, please kindly invite someone or share the link, and don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. See you after the break.
Is into rearing of turkey, broilers, noila birds, and we're also into production of catfish. This farm is located in Abara Iche. It's just a few minutes from Igruta roundabout. When we started in 2012, we started with about 3,000 birds, and we have been running that over every year. But our focus is basically to increase to about where we can do the capacity of like 30,000 birds. That is why you have this massive structure, and you also have the land here. You can see here we have turkey. They are like 3 months and 2 weeks old now. Our target is to get them to December when they will be about 6 months, 6 to 7 months, so that they can be weighty enough. Noila birds are basically a new innovation. It's a mixture of cockerel and broilers, and the meat is solely done for meat consumption. Though they lay eggs, but that's not our focus. Our focus is to produce them for meat consumption. And these ones that we have here are 11 weeks old now, but our target also is to get them to December, especially during the Christmas period, for our customers to buy. We also have our broilers. Though we just sold them off, we had about 500 that we just sold out, just about 5 remaining there. And we are also restocking. We are stocking in the next 3 weeks. We are bringing in new birds, new broilers that will be ready for the market latest by December 23rd. Because our target is to ensure that by Christmas, we are able to sell to the public. Well, our prices are very, very affordable because we don't sell per week. We don't say, if you want to buy my birds, I don't tell you they are 10 weeks, they are 9 weeks. What I focus on is the weight of my birds. That is what I sell with. At 6 weeks, sometimes they clock like 3 kg. And sometimes we finish selling maximum at the age of 8 weeks. We have already sold off our birds, because right from day one, we feed them appropriately, and we ensure that we apply maximum biosecurity measures to ensure that outbreak of disease is highly minimal, so that we will not be doing drugs every time, which most people have been complaining that they don't like patronizing broilers because of the drugs and vaccines that are being used. So because of that, we have reduced the outbreak of diseases around us, and that has reduced the intake of drugs. In case you are in need of broiler meat, you are in need of live broiler, live noilers, the turkey, we are here for you to patronize us. I will be glad, welcoming you and giving you best of the meat. We set up farm for people in commercial quantity. If you want to set up a commercial farm, we do the business plan, we do the visibility studies for you, and we also manage the farm for you in case you don't have the time to manage it. We manage it for you too. So if you get to our website, you see the details of what we do there.
Welcome back. Our guest on the show today is Mr. Kayode Oluwafemi. He's the Managing Director, the Premier Consulting Limited. He has a 15 years experience in SME growth consulting. He's a mentor who has facilitated and coordinated several entrepreneurship development programs, and also a soft skill development facilitator with Living Earth Nigerian Foundation. You're welcome to the show, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Now we are discussing investment SWOT analysis. And for those who do not know what SWOT, the acronym SWOT means, can you please explain what that means?
First of all, let me appreciate the invitation to be here today. I really appreciate it. And also to do justice to the topic, SWOT analysis. Basically, the acronyms SWOT actually means the strength, the weakness, the opportunities, and the threats that you have around your business.
Okay. So, if an organization or someone wants to invest in a business, can you tell us what that SWOT analysis would mean for that person that wants to invest in a business?
Considering SWOT analysis before you decide on any investment opportunity to actually look into cuts across you understanding why do you actually want to do the business, who are already the key players in the business, and who might also be running after you in the business in terms of the less privileged competitors and the strong factor competitors in the business. And also you have to understand that you are actually not in business because of yourself. You are in business because of your customers. So you need to know what they want, you need to know how they want it, and you need to know the price they can be able to pay for it. So this informs you to know what do I have on ground that can actually give me that competitive advantage that I need to launch into the business. That brings us to the word of strength. What are the resources, what are the capabilities that I need to actually strengthen my competitive advantage in the market? Then I will check through that. Now you check through opportunities. Okay, what are the opportunities in there? Now, for you to understand the opportunity that are there, you have to understand what are the existing players in the industry doing wrongly that you believe that you can come in and do better. Then you now plug in and put your strategies together and see how you can do that. Because for you to penetrate into the market or do an investment successfully, you have to understand that you have to do it more productively and you have to do it satisfactorily. Your customers, your clients, all of them need to be satisfied with what you are giving to them. So you have to know how has this been done in the past. Then what innovation or what other way can I do it that will make a difference so that at least they can see that I really fit into the business. Then also now considering that when you have understood the opportunities there and you have understood your strength, you also consider what the weaknesses are. You have to understand what is it that would disturb or block me from rendering this innovation or this new way of actually getting my investment or getting my product into the market. So you have to understand that, and this cut across different aspects. It could be, is it that my human resources is not perfectly composed as at the time, or my financial capacity is basically very low as at the time, or even the technology that I actually need, is very low. So those are the weaknesses, because those are the factors that will make you not to deliver as you have promised. Those are basically your weaknesses. Then your traits. These are challenges that are basically sometimes beyond your control. These are mostly external factors, and it could be in terms of the policy, government policy out there. It could be environmental challenges, out there. Just like the situation we find ourselves now, the COVID-19 pandemic. This is basically a threat to so many businesses across the world, especially drawing from the agri sector, and this is a threat to global food security as we speak, because now people can actually not go to the farm to do their normal farming activity. Agricultural production is getting reduced gradually, and even access to market is a challenge now that we are in the COVID-19 pandemic, because the products can actually not get into the market. So for anybody that is thinking of, I need to invest into agricultural sector, and you are finding yourself using the present situation, as a basis of doing your SWOT analysis, then you have to start thinking, Now, if another situation or if the pandemic reoccurs again, how do I get my product into the market? Then the idea now comes, another idea, innovative idea, like, okay, we can have online markets, apps. Farmers are beginning to develop apps now that from your farm you can actually send what you have, people see it, and make orders online. So basically, these are scenarios that we have around this SWOT analysis.
So for someone or an organization that wants to invest or make an investment and they want to conduct a SWOT analysis, what are the key things they should consider when conducting a SWOT analysis on investment?
Yeah, one of the basic factors they should consider in conducting the SWOT analysis is this investment that I actually want to do. What are the what we call return on investment around it? When you do your return on investment, this shows you, okay, within a minimum period of time, my investment should have yielded some profit, and the capital invested should have actually come back. But then, before you do that, you also have to understand the sector in which you want to also invest your money, because that is key. And that is prevalent, because you have to understand that, okay, I actually want to invest. Let's take, for example, if someone wants to invest his money into technological development as it is now, and you have to look at what sector of technological development are this investment actually going for. Is it what people will patronize, or is it what people will just, oh, this is a good idea, but presently it's actually not yielding an immediate effect to the general populace? Because that is what will determine the patronage of such investment. I'll give you an example. Presently, we are, due to this COVID-19 pandemic, because we always refer to this situation because it was unexpected and it is the new reality. Now you have heard about Zoom. People have been using Zoom's platform to conduct meetings and do some other things. But before now, I bet it's over 60% of people that are using Zoom now never used it before the pandemic. And that is what resulted to even the share value also increased, skyrocketed within a twinkle of an eye within this period. Now, these are kind of investments that we should always be looking at this present period, because people are mostly working from home now. Offices are being shut down. I have some business transactions I have with some multinationals now, and most of our transactions are being done, with the staff from their homes, because they can actually not get to their offices. So now what we should be looking at is, okay, the situation we find ourselves now, how well will the solution we are bringing up, benefit, the society? Because you should not forget, when you are investing, you are actually investing in something that will give you returns. And if there's no patronage, definitely returns will not come. So you have to look into that and see, okay, now going by the SWOT analysis, okay, this investment has the capacity to actually attract, patronage. So you have to, that is the strength. What is the strength of this investment that I want to actually tap into? Does this investment have the capacity to attract investors? Does this capacity also have the resources, needed to actually effectively, deploy this investment? This new innovation into the society and into the market. Then also, moving forward, we now check the weakness, because it's the SWOT, the SWOT. Now, checking the weakness, you have to understand, okay, is there any factor or any resources or any technological development that is being needed, for this product to be launched into the market also? Then you now check the investment you're actually going in for, and see if the possibility of actually putting those factors in place. But if it is something that you cannot immediately put in place, then that becomes the weakness of the investment. So you have to put that on a special note. You have to start putting your teams together, get them to start thinking of what other way can we, manipulate this situation around the investment. Also, your weakness could be, do I have direct impact on this investment that I'm making? Because I'll give you an example. So people say, okay, I have the money, I can set up a business, but they are not there to manage it. That's a strong weakness to an investment. Because you agree with me, if you set up any business and you are not on ground to manage that business, you have invariably set up your business for another person to actually yield the profit. So if you are evaluating the investments you want to go into, if you will not have the time to be there to manage that investment yourself, that becomes a strong weakness on your side. So you have to check it out. And so, okay, now if this is not there, what else can I do at least to mitigate the effect on my business? So that is why it's also necessary for you, before you embark on any business, for you to do the SWOT analysis, because now the SWOT analysis actually exposes, you know, the opportunities, the challenges, the weakness, and whatever that you have in your business. Now, I haven't done that because I believe we're still going to talk on how to actually mitigate the effect of the weakness, because basically this is one of the most important that has to be discussed when we are talking about SWOT analysis. Now, the opportunities in business, which is the O as regards the SWOT. Now, I want to invest. I have this investment that I want to do. Okay, fine. I want to set up a media house. You know, getting things done. You know, and I want to get a product, some set of product that you want to do, some set of programs that you actually want to do. Now, what you consider under opportunity is what are the programs that ought to have been there on air that is actually not there now, or what is the program that has been there on air that are not properly channeled to the right audience or expected audience that would have, you know, made more impact in the society. So that's why you have to now look at, okay, well, we are in this period now, most schools are closed now, there are a lot of opportunity for media industry to actually take up some things. You can actually have some online classes, you know, and you will agree with me that this situation we also find ourselves as actually exposed situations like parents getting to know that, wow, it's actually not necessary, especially from the secondary school upwards, that it's not necessary to be in class before you can learn now, you know. So you can see a whole lot of opportunities that is coming through there. People are doing Zoom, people are doing internet learning now. Even there are some classes that are running on radio, there are some that are running on TV. So these are opportunities for you. Now, I want to set up this media, but I actually want you to focus on educational information and see how we can bring classes from the classroom to our viewers, either through radio or through the TV. So you now set up, get professional teachers together, then they roll, and you guys have your timetable online. And bet the students will actually listen. Students will get to know what they're supposed to know, and they will write their exams and pass, because it is being experimented now. People are actually doing online. Even before now, we have online university, Nigeria Online University, that some of the curriculum are actually taught, you know, off class, and it's working. So these are the new innovations that we should be looking at. And for you to invest, you have to also look at that okay, in future, if eventually this has happened, this could be my product line that we can actually start to build up. And by the time you build that up, it opens opportunity and opens your funnel to clients to actually come. Because what we're actually looking at now is convenience. Because one of the things that will make more people to patronize your business is how convenient is this product for me to actually patronize. If it's convenient for them, it's something we can have access to on our phone, or something we can have access to on our tabs. It's make it easier, and that's why you see banks now taking their activities away from the banking hall. You can do everything you need to do now from your bank's app. You know, so these are opportunities that is there for people to evaluate before they get into business. If you evaluate your business and you are not seeing any opportunity for expansion, you are not seeing any opportunity for technological injection, and you are not seeing opportunity for partnership, then you should not look at such a business. You should have, because when you have partners, it keeps you on your toes, because other people's money are there. So you have to struggle to ensure that you work smart, to ensure that your team are up and doing and the business get productive. Then also expansion. The market has to expand. for you to say, okay, I'm, coming into business. And these are opportunities that you look at. Okay, this business that I'm actually putting my money, how visible is it for the business to get expanded within a short period of time? Because the basic language in business is you minimize cost and maximize your profit. And these are opportunities that you have to look at when you are doing this. You have to consider, is there opportunity for people to come and partner with me? Is there opportunity for me to even go online? Using app, makes it easier for people to patronize you. Is there opportunity for investors, local and international investors? You can even be thinking of, okay, how do we access local and international markets? How best do we do this? These are opportunities that you have to, look into when talking about opportunities. Now, from there, we'll move to the threats. These are challenges that invariably 100% critical to your business that could wreck the business within a twinkle of an eye. So you have to also check that out and see, okay, is there any policy that is hanging that could eventually affect my business, that, all my investment. We have some examples around. As I was coming to the studio, I got to read some write-up online where they said the verdict for the Lagos ban on Okada bicycle riding, commercial bicycle riding in Lagos, the judgment will be done either on the 10th of December or whatever. But this is a business that somebody had invested billions of naira before now. And just within a day, the state government said in some local governments in Lagos State, we are banning Okada. These are serious threats. These are serious, and these are situations that even the investors would have considered before now. And I was, in the course of my interaction, I also got to know that gazette has actually been there before now. Not in 2020, not in 2019, but far before then. But if the investors are taking time to say, okay, now this is the business we want to do. Let's check around Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Transport, Board of Internal Revenue of the state. Let's see what gazette do they have for this kind of business. They would have known before now and see how they mitigate. So you have to actually, check through to see. Even strong competition can be a threat. If the market is wide open for everybody to come in, this becomes a threat to you, because anybody could just come with stronger technology that you have, even stronger push, stronger team that will make you off balance as soon as they come into the market. So you have to know all this, and the essence of any investor to know all this is for you to get yourself prepared beforehand, so that when you get prepared, they said who work without plan has actually worked to fail. So you have to understand all these factors before you get into the business, so that as soon as they show their faces, then you blindfold them immediately with your strategies that you have on ground. Yeah. Thank you.
So you've already explained that SWOT means strength, weakness, opportunity, and the threat that one faces in business. Now, let's talk about the weaknesses in SWOT analysis. What exactly can organizations do or investors do to combat the weaknesses in SWOT analysis?
Well, thank you very much for that question, because that is the most critical aspect of it. If you have $1 and billion investment on ground and your weaknesses are there without being addressed, it's actually amounts to nothing. So basically, if you already identify your weakness, just like we narrated some, what you need to do is to see how best can I ensure that these weaknesses doesn't affect my business. And you have to understand that SWOT analysis, cuts across a triangle: yourself, the customers, and your competitors. So you have to understand them, and you have to actually know your weakness as it relates to each of that. Even to you as an organization, there are some factors that are weakness to you. Like, I'll take for example, if your human resources is poor, you have to have a good team. And if you have a very bad team, just like I always tell people I mentor, if you are in business, you have to have a team that taps into the mission and vision of your organization. And you also have to evaluate them. That is why you see some organization, when they interview you, they will get to ask you, what is your plan in the next 5 years? They actually try to see if your plan aligns with that of the organization. You know, it's not as if they are interested in what you want to become in the next 5 years. They want to employ you, they want their business to be sustainable. But what they're just trying to look at is, they want to hear from you. How do you plan with us? So you have to have a good team. And in a situation where you realize that, okay, we have started a business, but we are not working as a team. And if you fail to work as a team, it will actually affect your output. Then you have to look at, okay, what do we do? That's why you do human resources evaluation and see who do we send on, who do we train, who do we retain, who do we tell to just step aside. You have to put all this together and see that, okay, the right hand, the right person is there in the right place to do your work at the appropriate time. And also if it's called that, okay, maybe on the side of the finance, sometimes you might have a good idea, but you might not have that cash to actually pull it over. Then you have to see, okay, what do we do? How do we source for funding as an organization so that we can do what we need to do? Either from the throwback, from the profit you are making, from the existing activities, products and services that you render the public, or you call investors to come together and finance your organization. And probably angel investors, but you have to have what we call social security. You have to also have that trust. People must trust you before they put their money over to you to invest. And also, if that is not, because we have talked about the human resources, we have talked about the finance, if your product also has a very low image in the market, that is also a weakness which you have to address. Okay, is it that our promotional activity is not strong enough to cut across to the prospective clients that we want them to get across to? You have to do all this analysis. And that's why in doing business, you don't just say you want to get into business, you have to do a lot of visibility studies. So when you are doing your visibility studies, a lot of these factors will come, you will see them, head on, and you have to now address them. So a whole lot of factors that if we begin to mention, you have to contend with how do we penetrate the market, because some guys are there, they will never allow you to come in. And remember, as you are strategizing, they are actually also doing, they have a team. Some organizations now, what they have now, they have intelligence team, that their duty is to just keep checking out the market and see who wants to come in. So as soon as they discover that, then they set up, okay, what strategy are they actually planning to come in with? Then if that strategy is known to them, you will see a counter strategy. Even before you launch, something is already there that will make that your wow strategy to look very useless. So it's like that. So you have to understand all this and plan consistently. Have an M&E department that's monitoring and evaluation, then research and development for your organization. Ensure that all these are working. Well, you might be saying, oh, I'm a small business, how do I have money to do all this? You can actually do that on your own. You don't have to invest so much if you have not gotten to that stage of employing professionals. You can, thanks to Google, thanks to some research engines that we have on our phone apps, that you can easily make some research on and say this is the idea I have. You can actually Google and check the stage of a particular idea that you are trying to put into the market. And luckily, you might be thinking of something, but I assure you, a whole lot of people are actually thinking the same way. And even that product might not be in the market here in Nigeria, but it must have been somewhere else. So when you make your research, some challenges that they are actually facing where such product has been launched might be revealed, and you get to know and say, okay, this is something I'm planning to do down here, but already somewhere, and it's creating some, there are some challenges that are actually facing it. So when you check that out, that will inform you on how to actually have some remedies to your weakness, basically.
So we've explained what SWOT analysis is, and it's been trying to evaluate your strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and all that. Now, are there challenges in trying to conduct a SWOT analysis? Are there problems you face when you're trying to conduct a SWOT analysis? There, please.
Okay, basically, absolutely. There are challenges to face, because when you are doing your SWOT analysis, it's more like you are conducting a research. And while conducting research, sometimes resources might be a challenge, because there are some information that you actually need to spend money either to travel to where you need to get them, or you actually need to engage some people to actually do it for you. And this is, as it is, might be very expensive to some businesses, and also hoarding of information. Having known that you are actually coming into the market to compete, some existing businesses will not be willing to reveal information to you, and also inflation is a big challenge while conducting SWOT analysis, because if you have done that, take for example between March and this period, you can see what the exchange rate has been, right from 300 and something to about 500 naira now. And if you have conducted a SWOT analysis and you have gotten some figures in line and you are hoping to launch by December, and you have used your estimate for 380 thereabouts, and now we are almost around 500, so you can see that it's already 40. So these are situations that might really affect your SWOT analysis. Also, SWOT analysis can also be affected by situations situations in terms of policy change, because now you have a business that you have actually worked on now. Like I'll tell you, I have a business in my mind now that I'm trying to bring, in fact two that I'm trying to bring up. One is waste management, trying to get some tricycle and get some neighborhood around me to collect their waste, and they get me paid for that. Now I'm considering who are the guys that will actually work with me to implement that. Now that's a challenge to my SWOT analysis. I've discovered that this business is a very lucrative business. The capital return is very high. But now, am I going to have guys that are willing to actually do the work with me? Because trust me, it's not something I can do. I won't be able to do that, but I have the idea. I might eventually have the resources to actually get like 5 tricycle and also do the marketing. Well, the marketing I can do, but collection of the refuse, I wouldn't be able to do that. And you see, with what we have now, the youth that we have now actually want to actually start from the top instead of starting from the bottom. Because for you to be successful as a business owner, for you to be successful as an entrepreneur, you have to have that willingness to actually start from the bottom. You start small and grow. Our guys actually want a job, a white collar job, use tie, wear some nice jeans and starched shirts, and this has become a challenge in implementing the SWOT analysis, especially opportunities that we have seen in the research that we have conducted. And also, even the taste in the market, in the process of conducting your SWOT analysis, if care is not taken and if those actions are not implemented as fast as possible, taste might change. You will agree with in the fashion industry, for example. Sometimes you have some senators that have been sold and some guys will wear it and say, oh, this is fantastic. But after like 3 months, another style comes up. Even for our ladies, the wig, the makeup, the styles are being changed now, whatever. And these are relative, highly relative in business, especially implementing your SWOT analysis. And this goes into other line of business, that we're talking about, because if action is not taken at the appropriate time, you don't allow your SWOT analysis to stay too long before you start to implement, because dynamics actually change. Innovation comes in, technology, changes, and these are factors that will render your SWOT useless if it is not properly implemented. If it is not implemented at the right time.
Okay, so you've explained that SMEs, that's small to medium scale enterprises, can also conduct SWOT analysis.
Sure.
And you told us how they can do this.
Yeah.
Now, what are the advantages SWOT analysis has for SMEs, for small to medium scale enterprise owners who conduct SWOT analysis before they start up their business or even in the course of running the business? What advantages are there?
Okay, conducting SWOT analysis by a small and medium enterprise, actually has a lot of advantages. One of them is it builds your documentation for your business plan, because you can actually not write a business plan without actually getting some necessary information that you need. And in there, in your business plan, is also a component called the SWOT analysis. So it actually gives you an idea of this is what the market is, this is what the business is all about. So it lays the foundation. So that when you start, you are actually not finding some things strange to you. Because if you start without making any research, if you start without doing any SWOT analysis, by the time you start the business and you get to know some situation, you say, wow, I never knew, nobody ever told me, So when you do your SWOT analysis, it actually gives you prior information about the business. And also, it also boosts and gives you an idea of what resources you actually need to put together. Remember, SWOT analysis is all about building your competitive advantage. That's the bottom line. That's the reason why you are actually conducting SWOT analysis. Is for you to build your competitive advantage. What is in there in the market that I think I could just do a kind of innovation on, or what is not there, what is missing that my technology or my idea can actually introduce into the market. And remember, as I said initially, is your SWOT analysis concerns three of you: your customers, your competitors, and even yourself. And the fourth one that that is also necessary for us to actually bring in is when the research and development comes in, and monitoring and evaluation. Because also somebody is also aspiring to be like you in the market, which might be a lesser competitor. So why the fourth guy is not mentioned is basically he's still a competitor. So it falls under. While you are looking at people that are already above you in the business, you also need to consider people that are coming. In fact, in most cases, the people that are coming behind you are more dangerous because you have already deployed your resources. They are just coming, they have not deployed. So they could just advance on what you have. So you have to keep watching and know what they are doing so that you can know what to also, as they are taking one step, you are taking two. And that's why you see automobile industries, when they produce model, 2000 model, this year you see some other ones to produce, and that's why you see they keep producing every year. Some automobile industry don't actually believe in producing every year before now, like the Mercedes-Benz, the Ford, and the rest of them. Their cars were actually in the old times, they actually built to last forever. But if you build a product that does not permit innovation, then that means your market will shrink because people's tastes are changing. What I like today, tomorrow I might not just get, I might just say no. I have to have a taste of, a change of taste, and that's why you see now all the automobile now they are doing yearly model, irrespective of how strong the fiber is. They need to get to add a new technology. I also draw my examples from one of the businesses I do now. I own a poultry farm, and this started way back. The idea actually came into me in 2006, to be precise. I was just walking on the street as a bachelor. Our normal delicacy then is Indomie and egg. I bought the Indomie. I actually wanted to buy eggs. Then I moved from 1, 2, 3, 4 shops. There was no egg. Then something struck my mind that, man, so I never thought that egg could be scarce. So that there came that, so we could have scarcity of egg. Then one of my friends was with me then, and I told him, I said, guy, this is a business opportunity. If you can be going to Ibadan or Abeokuta or Lagos to bring this egg into Port Harcourt, we'll be selling. So we started. But another challenge that came there was, do we have the capital to start? Because we're just hustling. So that actually killed that thought. But in every bad situation, there's always a good situation, a good opportunity. Already I discovered that egg could be scarce, so that there will be market for egg. So eventually, now we were considering our strength initially. How do we get the capital? We realized that our strength in getting the capital was very, very low. So we abandoned the project. Not up until 2012, when I now, no, 2009. Then I started the business with just about 60,000 naira. Then I was not considering starting small, and that was another challenge why we couldn't start in 2012. We were looking at the big picture. Okay, we need like 500,000 to start going to Ibadan. But I never thought that with just a small amount I could start. Until 2009, when I shared that idea, I just got married in there and I shared the idea with my wife. She said, but if you cannot go to Ibadan, can't we just start buying the poultries around Port Harcourt? That idea now came. I said, oh, fine. How do we do? Then we had to put 60K together. Now, and I said, okay, this egg of a team. You know, remember when I was talking about opportunities, strength, it's all about it concerns the customer too. We had to now make a research and see what kind of egg do people actually want. One, we discovered that people actually like eggs that are clean, and they like eggs that are also big. So these are opportunities that we have to, the market is there, massive market. And we also made our research to know what is the local production of eggs and what is the ratio that is being brought from another state. Then we discovered that it's about 35-65. 35 locally produced and 65 is being brought from another state into Rivers State. So this becomes a big opportunity. The market is massive for us, and we say, okay, now then we started moving into poultries and we started buying eggs. We don't buy when you are doing deep litter. We buy when you are doing battery cages. Then eventually our markets began to expand. And remember the key word in business, you have to start small and grow. So starting small gave us the opportunity to start to grow, to the extent that we don't even use our money to buy eggs anymore. Our customers will drop their cash and say, okay, by so time we are coming to. Then the funnel began to expand. Then we now source for more funds and we started the farm. Now, another challenge that I also need to mention when considering your SWOT analysis, your strengths, your weakness. Now, under the weakness, we actually fell into a very nasty situation where we got our farm. The land where we bought for the farm, where we got the farm established today, is a bit far to Port Harcourt. So at least to whoever is listening out there, you have to consider any business that you want to set up, ensure that it's very close to the market, so that people can just come in, get some purchase, then they take off. That will help you. You are not going to, spend much time to retain your product. Now we've got to set up there, and why we set up is because of also limited fund. Because now we never wanted a situation where the boat will be set up within Port Harcourt because of environmental issues, and before we now start to have to face some litigation. So we said, okay, we need to locate where we can have access. Then, if you want to buy a plot of land in Port Harcourt, you know what it costs. And with the little resources we saw a place that was very affordable. So we set up there. The challenge of, bringing the products to the market was there initially, especially when you are doing broilers and they are matured for sales. And at that period, you are at the mercy of the bulk buyers. Because one, they know that the place is far. You cannot be selling the way you want. So when they come, what they are supposed to buy for 2,500, they will tell you, we'll pay you 1,600, 1,008, because they know that you will definitely just sell. So that affects the business a lot. So that has to be considered. Anybody that is setting up has to ensure that your business is close to your market. And initially we mentioned innovation. We mentioned the use of technology. I will also tell you that even one of my first set of sales, I actually made it online through Facebook. A guy bought about 10 beds, and the guy was in Canada when I made that sales. I just got the picture of my stuff and I posted it on my Facebook page. And the guy saw it. Oh, where are you in Port Harcourt? I told him. So he said, I have an auntie along that George. Would you be able to supply 10? I said yes, of course. He sent the money to my account from there. Then I deliver. So market, distance or access to market can actually be the distance to market can actually be reduced through the use of technology, use of app, which we are also working on one now, and through the use of your social media platform. Just like some of our youth these days, we use our social media platform for some things that are actually not supporting our businesses. But with the use of social media, you can actually bring your business close to your customer, because they need to get to know what you do. And when they know that, you can actually sacrifice to ensure. If they cannot, like what I do now, most people that will not be able to come to my farm, I'll just tell them, don't worry, I will just bring it down to you. But if you are buying bulk, what I do sometimes is, okay, just come. When they come, and by the time they begin to complain, this place is far, we are spending much, I'll just ask, madam, how much do you pay for transport? And they pay 4,000 now, and this will be taken from my profit. At the end of the day, I could just give them 1,000 naira to say, madam, just to reduce your cost. These are incentives that you should also consider while doing business. And if you do that, trust me, that customer loyalty will always be there, because they know that it's not all farmers that will do that. So for you to have sacrificed to do it, it's a plus of the world. So that is the way we are actually, battling with the challenge of the weakness that we have, which is mainly the distance. The second major challenge we have there is the commitment of the staffs. And that is where I also advise anyone, because you have to separate your business from your family members. By the time you get to involve family member, it's my cousin, it's my brother, let him come and manage my business. A whole lot of things will go wrong, because in business, there's a popular idea that says there's no family in business. So, and if eventually and unavoidably you need to employ your family member, they have to be on the same condition with whoever is not your family member. There has to be something written on paper that this is your scope of work, and if anything goes wrong, this is what will be the penalty. And you don't hesitate to implement the penalty as fast as possible. Because, mind you, if they misbehave and your business goes down the drain, tomorrow they will not even tell anybody that it's as a result of their laxity. They will tell people that you were mismanaging your fund and you will not be there to defend it. In fact, your business is gone. So you have to. So that actually came in, but eventually we were able to resolve that. We were able to do some restructuring, and also I had to increase my commitment to the business, because then when we started, because of my engagement within town, I wasn't able to be going as regular. In fact, I would say I was a farm owner then. I was not a farmer. Because there are two differences. When you have a farm, you just get people doing it for you. When you're a farmer, you get yourself present there, most times to ensure. So I had to now turn myself to be a farmer. So I was always there to check what is happening and to see what they are doing wrong. And I was sleeping there. At least when you do that, when we lay eggs, you sleep, check how they are laying so that you can know the trend. Not that you just be at home and say how many eggs do they lay today. They will not tell you, probably they must have laid 30 crates. They will just tell you, your Ghana they come from now. This time will just tell them, say that 20. So by the time they try the first one, it's 20, you will just holler, what is happening? Yesterday it was 30, and they just stopped laying. And you were not there, you will just succumb. And that is where the problem will start. Now they have known that you don't even know much about the place. So they will start to manipulate you. So eventually we're able to overcome that. Then away from the issue of insecurity, personally, I would say I've actually not faced a strong insecurity challenge, and I pray it continues the way it is. But why that's happened or is happening is because I was able to create a good rapport between my host community and my business. As I speak with you now, if anybody goes to my farm to either pick eggs or buy some birds, somebody will come in the next 10 minutes to say, are you aware that? So that I will say yes. I'm the one that said it. That's how cordial we are, because I was able to engage them. You have to also learn to play to work with people. When I got there, I engaged 2 community guys, and I gave one the CLO, and the other one the chief security officer. Now, it wasn't as if the money was much for us to do this, but I consider my investment there, and I said, okay, if I refuse to do all this, anything could just happen, and what would be my gain? My investment would just get messed up. So I issued them an ID card, and I collected their passports. And instead of telling them to go to the bank to open an account, since I have a corporate account, I just wrote a letter to my bank, please create an account for these staffs. And I was paying them. In fact, the first alert they got, it was, wow, what is happening? Over 10 youths called me from the community. Dauga, so person called say, in fact, thank you. Now you don't engage us. That was how we continue, and that created a very good rapport. So we were able to, fight that. Sometimes when some people came around to do some documentary, and as we were going, they say, this place is far. How do you cope with insecurity? I'll just laugh. I told them it's all about how you're able to. As I speak with you now, I have about 15 of my friends that actually bought land there and have set up their farm there. So we have actually impacted the community, and it's quite working good for us. So basically, those are challenges and the way we have been able to battle with them.
Okay, so I want to ask a question before I go to the final one.
Okay.
For people who would want to go, for viewers who are watching and would want to go into the agro business,
Okay.
and probably do not have the funds to start up this business, how can you, or what way can they, get funds for the business?
Okay. Funding your business actually comes in different ways. One, before you can even think of, okay, I need to fund my business, to source for fund for my business, you have to decide what capacity are you actually looking at. And you have to also consider what farming activity am I actually going to get myself engaged with. Do I want to make it a commercial farming, or do I want to make it a semi-commercial farming? So that with that you can know what amount of fund do you actually need. Then when you know that, okay, what you need is not all that much, and it's what you can generate within your family and friends, or within your little savings that you have made, you can actually start from somewhere. We don't encourage you to have all the money before you actually start something. You can actually start from somewhere, and you can actually break down. Instead of me to purchase the land, can I actually lease? All this brings down your takeoff capital. It brings it down. If you lease, it's very cheaper. What you can use to buy a plot of land, if you need to lease some parcel of land, you get close to about 10, 20, and that gives you opportunity. Like if you want to go into cassava farming, you can actually not go and buy land to do cassava farming. The best option for you is to lease. When you lease, you have large land mass that you can use for your business. But if you are unable to actually generate this funding from your savings, from your friends, you can actually get some investors to working with you. You can actually get some guys. I had a situation last year when I studied, it's all about SWOT analysis. I was looking at the opportunity in my business then, and I discovered that when it gets to December, there will be scarcity of beds, because I saw the trend, and it's actually going to happen this year again. So I actually contacted some of my friends. I called, guys, let's put cash together. I actually did an estimate that would take us 2,000 beds, and I posted the estimate on our group, and I said, this is the estimate, this is the expenses, these are the projected income. If you are really willing to tap in, bring your fund. Some called, in fact, somebody called and said I should not discuss with anybody again, that was willing to. And we actually did some good test run, and it was highly productive, very, very profitable. So these are opportunities that we look at. Anybody that is coming into this agri-business, you should know how to manage your fund. When you get it, know how you get it. If you can get it from investors, fine, but manage it appropriately to ensure that there's a return on investment, because that is what will keep you going. It's not all about now. Don't window dress any findings. Give Give it to them as it is. Let them know. Some people will come with a projection. I'll make 1,000 profits per bed. How possible is that? You know, you have to be very, very realistic in conducting your SWOT analysis too. And also now, if you cannot get from some other investors, probably because of the situation we are now, people are not willing to part with their cash now. You can actually, there are a whole lot of government windows for investment. Recently, we've had a COVID-19 special intervention where some businesses actually got some amount of money ranging from 300 to about some millions of naira. You know, it was a good one, and it has to go through competition. You have to send in your business plan, send in your statement of account. They evaluate it and actually dose out some cash to you. And also another one is it's also by the NESA Microfinance Bank. It's being pioneered by the CBN. You know, they can give you up to the tune of 10 million naira. It's just for you to identify an EDI, Enterprise Development Institution, that are certified by CBN to conduct their training. You know, like you saw in my profile, I actually consult with one of them, which is the Agric Entrepreneur Association of Nigeria. We conduct our training bi-weekly at the Incubation Technology Center inside the school to land at Trumodumaya there. You know, people can, if you take, and it's not only for agric business basically, it's also for agric small and medium enterprises. And I will tell you, people are actually getting that money. You know, the normal concept of this is government thing, or it will take a lot time. But how long is the time? If you wait and you get it, and you never tried and you did not get, so you will stay longer, you know, just dreaming about your business. So it's always better to give it a shot, you know. So people can actually, I think they are online, you know. It's I think their site is NESA Microfinance Bank. That's nmfb.org.ng. You know, with there, if you log on, you can actually see the approved EDIs. Because I've been hearing some people say, and they have gone through the training. Some people just call them. You know, there are some kangaroo cooperatives now that are just coming up. Instead of them to actually let you know that they are not directly certified, they just tell people, oh yeah, bring money, and we will train you, we will apply for you. No, please, the certified EDIs are online. So once you check them, it depends on the state you are. You just happen to choose anyone that is close to you within the state where you are. They will train you mandatory training on 5 days, and a business plan has to be, you know, uploaded. So these are opportunities that you can. Apart from NESA Microfinance, we have also Bank of Industry is also giving out some cash, and we also have some international NGOs that are actually giving also grants and seed funds to, you know, it's all about us youth trying to take time to just go online and check some of this information. You know, it's just to Google grants for business development in Africa. You have the Tony Elumelu, and in fact, it's one of the reasons why Tony Elumelu just got the recognition as one of the 100 most influential person in the world now. I think that was announced about 3 weeks ago. And why they were actually running through the profile and why he actually got that, it's got that this man has actually, you know, impacted millions of businesses across Africa. You know, so these are also opportunities that our youth need to, you know, not just spending our time, you know, checking pictures and listening to music all around. You have to understand the concept of, you know, creativity, and you have to understand the concept of entrepreneurship, because it's not all about, oh, I'm looking for fund. Whoever wants to give you money to do your business will first of all understand that you are doing a business that is productive, and that you have that entrepreneurship spirit. Because it's not, if I give you my money and you actually don't have what it takes to manage the money, so it's as good as I've just thrown my money into the ocean. So you have to have entrepreneurship spirit and knowledge before you can say, okay, I want to set up to go and look for fund. You have to also be willing to weather the storm, because doing business is not as easy as you see successful entrepreneurs out there. You know, I've read about autobiography and biography of successful entrepreneurs across Nigeria, and it's quite crazy. They started on a very rough, in fact, our generation now is actually having some good time, you know, going into business, because those days there were no government interventions as such, but now we have a whole lot of interventions, and even these successful guys are actually rolling back some of the profits they make into, you know, financing other. We can mention, we have the Dangote Fund is there. We have people like Fola Adiola, the co-founder of Faith Foundation, and these guys have been, you know, doing tremendously well over some period of years, training entrepreneurs. We know these are opportunities they never knew. All they had the opportunity to is to just go to school, go and read, make first class, then go and look for job. But they have changed the narrative for us now. And the narrative is get creative, go to school so that you can build your interactive capacity and network, then launch your products. Because now I tell my children, you are not just going to school just because that is what will make you to make money. No. In fact, as it is now, I'm making them to learn a skill as they finish one day. Like they said, I want to celebrate our birthday, Daddy, you do cake. I said, okay, the only condition for me to get you cake for your birthday is for you to learn how to do cake so that I can give you money for you to do the cakes. Now, if you do that, you have actually impacted. They have had that concept of, now I can make cakes. So when they are in school, they can make cupcakes and sell to their friends and make money while right there in school. So these are narrative changes that we have to look at, and these are the new normal that we have to start looking into.
So finally, sir, can you give a word of advice to our viewers who intend to start a business? Okay,
my word of advice for our viewers basically is to understand that they need to start small. You have to start small and grow. Don't just say, okay, I need to do this business and I need that millions of naira to set it up. No. What you have to consider is your product must have a purpose in the market, and don't just set up a business based on what you think will sell. It has to be what people want in the market, and you have to start small. You have to start small and grow. You have to have a business plan, a workable business plan for your business. It's just like it's a template, a comprehensive template on how you want your business to start and where you want your business to get to. Then apart from that, you also have to have a mentor that you have to lean on. You know, like this popular song, lean on me when you are not strong. I'll be your friend. I will help you to carry on. So you have to, you know, ensure that you have a mentor. And the essence of the mentor sometimes is not to give you money, but it's to share their wealth of ideas with you. They have been there before you came, and they can actually advise you and tell you at the appropriate time that, okay, at some level, something will happen. So this is how you can actually, you know, maneuver and get out of the mess. So they are there to advise, and that's why you see some governors, some presidents who say we have council of advisors. They are actually mentors to the president. So as a business owner, you also have to have that. You have to have your mentor, you have to have your coach, and you also have to be knowledgeable about the business that you are doing. Don't just say, I want to go into business, and you are not making any research. You don't even know the new technology in your business. You don't even know the new market in your business. So you have to ensure that all these are there. And of course, you have to pay your tax. So you have to understand that doing business, you have to know at what point do I remit what, because that has actually brought down a lot of businesses, because they don't actually know when to do tax return. You know, even when you are not doing business, but your business is registered with CAC, every month you are supposed to go to, if it's a limited, you have to go to Federal Inland Revenue and fill a form that this month we have not done. They call it nil VAT return form. So you have to fill it. If you fail to do that, you actually pay 5,000 every month. And if that goes through the year, that's 60,000. And if, take for example, your business was registered in 2015 and you have failed to file, it will be calculated back to 2015. So the number of months that you have till 2000 is what you have multiplied by 5,000. So that has been a very big problem to some businesses, and so that you have to know that, you have to put that at the back of your mind, because it is what you pay as tax that government also, you know, used to provide us amenities. And just like yesterday, I was reading to when the Lagos State government actually congratulated Lekon for winning the Big Brother Nigeria, and they also reminded him that they are waiting for his tax. So,
well, thank you very much, sir, for being on the show. It was really educative.
it's a pleasure.
I've learned a lot. Wow, this is so educating. We are going to go on a short break now. When we come back, our discussion continues. While we are on this break, please follow us on any or all of our social media platforms. If you have any questions or want to participate in the show, WhatsApp us on the number on your screen.
Is into rearing of turkey, broilers, noila birds, and we're also into production of catfish. This farm is located in Abara Iche, it's just some few minutes from Igruta roundabout. When we started in 2012, we started with about 3,000 birds, and we have been running that over every year. But our focus is basically to increase to about where we can do the capacity of like 30,000 birds. That is why you have this massive structure, and you also have the land here. You can see here we have turkey. They are like 3 months and 2 weeks old now. Our target is to get them to December when they will be about 6 months, 6 to 7 months, so that they can be weighty enough. Noila birds are basically a new innovation. It's a mixture of cockerel and broilers. And the meat is solely done for meat consumption. Though they lay eggs, but that's not our focus. Our focus is to produce them for meat consumption. And these ones that we have here are 11 weeks old now, but our target also is to get them to December, especially during the Christmas period, for our customers to buy. We also have our broilers, though we just sold them off. We had about 500 that we just sold out, just about 5 remaining there. And we are also restocking. We are stocking in the next 3 weeks. We are bringing in new birds, new broilers that will be ready for the market latest by December 23rd. Because our target is to ensure that by Christmas, we are able to sell to the public. Well, our prices are very, very affordable because we don't sell per week. We don't say, if you want to buy my birds, I don't tell you they are 10 weeks, they are 9 weeks. What I focus on is the weight of my birds. That is what I sell with. At 6 weeks, sometimes they clock like 3 kg. And sometimes we finish selling maximum at the age of 8 weeks. We have already sold off our birds, because right from day one, we feed them appropriately, and we ensure that we apply maximum biosecurity measures to ensure that outbreak of disease is highly minimal, so that we will not be doing drugs every time, which most people have been complaining that they don't like patronizing broilers because of the drugs and vaccines that are being used. So because of that, we have reduced the outbreak of diseases around us, and that has reduced the intake of drugs. In case you are in need of broiler meat, you are in need of live broiler, live noilers, the turkey, we are here for you to patronize us. I will be glad, welcoming you and giving you best of the meat. We set up farm for people in commercial quantity. If you want to set up a commercial farm, we do the business plan, we do the visibility studies for you, and we also manage the farm for you in case you don't have the time to manage it. We manage it for you too. So if you get to our website, you see the details of what we do there.
Welcome back. Remember, we are still discussing investment SWOT analysis. And our guest on the show today is Mr. Kayode Oluwafemi. He's the Managing Director of the Premier Consulting Limited. Please don't forget to follow us on any or all of our social media platforms. And also, if you have questions, WhatsApp us on the number on your screen.